to Grab a Drink with me,
Marisol,
and Eliana.
All right, we're going to try the Southbound Greyhound. That's going to be our drink this week. We made it with Ruby Red vodka, Deep Eddy Ruby Red vodka, some unflavored Topo Chico.
Yes.
And a pinch of salt. So,
okay,
cheers and let's try this.
I did smell it. I'm going to say I don't smell much, but...
Now I can smell it a little bit.
A little bit. Let me see.
I like it.
I feel like the grapefruit's coming through.
Mm-hmm.
You put salt, right?
I did. I put a little bit of salt.
The salt's coming through?
Just to kind of add to it, but I like it. I'm a Deep Eddy fan.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I will say, though? The Topo Chico, I'm not a huge fan of, but I don't really get that strong taste.
I think the grapefruit overpowers.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, just to kind of recap on our show last time, obviously we had technical difficulties, and just to give a little quick snippet of what we were talking about, was basically how my son comes over to this house and he hangs out and stuff and he'll spend the night, and I was just mentioning how, you know, he feels really comfortable here, and I definitely get that kind of vibe when he's here and I don't have to worry so much. And that's not a lot of places. I mean, he's only 8 and he doesn't really sleep over at a lot of places.
Except here all the time.
And he'll come here for weeks. That's what's crazy. Is like he'll come here, like I plan maybe 1 or 2 days, and he'll be here for like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I definitely think that that's a relief, especially as a single mom, to know that, you know, I don't always have to have him with me, but when I do, I cherish it. But when he's away, I also take advantage of that time, and I don't have to worry so much. And I think that's what's big to me, is that I can actually relax and get things done and not be constantly checking by, you know, call or text, even though he obviously does that. So. Yeah.
Well, and I think it's because he's an only child.
Yes.
And here, even though we've got, you know, from 21 to 10, there's always a lot going on, which we kind of talked about a little bit. So we enjoyed having him here all the time.
Yes. By the way, he did ask to spend the night, but I said no.
Aww.
I didn't say no for mean reasons. I just said no because I have things coming up this weekend. So I kind of have to have him a bit with me. But I'm sure he'll spend the night in the near future. So
yes, before school starts.
Yes.
We have to do that again. Yes.
Yes.
Yep. So what happened this week? So what do you have? What did you have planned? What's going on? Let's kind of catch up a little bit.
I would say it was more mellow. I really tried to like just be at home, get kind of things organized so that I'm ready for what's to come, because I do go back to work. So I mean, want summer's over for me, but that's okay, because at the same time I can get back into the swing of my routine. Yep. He's been going to bed earlier. I've been waking up with an alarm. I had to kind of get adjusted to again. Yeah. And I've been waking up, not to say that I've gotten out of bed at that time.
But you're awake.
But I'm awake. So yeah, I mean, it's been a little bit of an adjustment to kind of get back in the swing of things, but I think it'll be good. And that's basically, it's been a mellow week. I haven't really done much. What about you?
That's good. Well, we kind of add a little bit about that. We talk about that when school starts is I don't like them going back just because I like having them here, or just being able to kind of run and go and do things. But it forces us back into a routine. Mm-hmm. And I like the structure. I always talk about that, you know, like at work, I like having a structure of this is how it is and we're going to follow this. Or like if we're going to go and do something, I want to know what we're doing. And so I think with school, I like having that structure back, because sometimes it's kind of crazy during the summer. Yeah. What are we eating? And I think that's what we hear all the time, or I do. It's like there's nothing to eat at the house. Although the refrigerator and the pantry's full, there's never anything to eat, according to the kids.
Or nothing that they want, even though everything's
That's
there.
exactly what I say. It's not that we don't have anything, it's that it's nothing that you want or like. So,
it's the same way at our house.
But mine was a little bit of a big week. I had a birthday, so yay me, we won't say my age.
No. Happy birthday, though.
But thank you. I have my parents coming in town because my sister's birthday is tomorrow, so we're 2 days apart but 7 years.
Yeah.
So my parents are coming in and we're going to have something here for the both of us. She's got a big birthday.
Yeah.
Mine is just a birthday, but she's got a big number birthday.
Yeah. So have you all celebrated in the past? Because I know y'all are now in the same town.
No,
so.
and that's kind of what we talked about yesterday. Was she came by, and so it was nice because her boys came by, and brought flowers and a little cupcake and wine, and then my sister came by, and so I was telling Rico how that was nice that they can do that.
Yeah.
And we've gotten to enjoy just the drive ups and just yesterday because
closer.
Yeah, and even if it was for a little while, we got that because we don't. It's just always a phone call or whatever. So I think that'll be nice, and then tomorrow we'll do that, and then the next day we'll have something here, which will be nice. And I know my parents like that because we never get to celebrate together. So we did that. What else? I think Blake's been doing football camp, and that's been good, but it's been hot. It's been hot. It's in Texas, as some of y'all know that we're in Texas and some that don't, but it's very hot. So he's
triple digits hot.
Yes. So he's having to adjust a little bit because these kids are practicing and they're sweating a lot. They're getting a lot of breaks. But
staying hydrated.
Yes, and we've kind of been making sure that he's hydrating during the day, so when it comes down to it, he's okay. But we talked about how, I don't know how some people do it when they have to deal with kids all day that are little and young, because let me tell you, this week they were a bit much at practice. I felt bad for Coach. I told Rico.
Just being riled up and stuff?
Yeah, they didn't want to listen. They were all over the place, and I wanted to go out there and be like, stop it, stop.
Maybe it's the heat.
I guess. And half of them took off their shirts, because of course they're boys, and they're like, oh my gosh, they took off their shirts.
Yeah.
But it was just a bit much. Coach kept raising his voice and
trying to get them back on.
Yeah, and they're playing around in line, and I haven't seen it like that. I think I've missed a practice or so, but I still haven't seen him do that, which is a little crazy, but we'll see. Hopefully,
and these are just practices. No,
right.
So when does he officially start? I guess
football. It's the actual games are the end of August, but starting next week they're going to be every day. So he's been going 3 days a week. Now he will go every day next week for 2 hours instead of 1.
Oh my goodness.
And he'll be practicing with helmets, which I haven't really shared with him because I saw that earlier today that they will be practicing with helmets next week. So he gets that. We pick up uniform and everything Saturday.
Okay.
So we'll see how that goes. I think that's going to be a lot for them because it's so hot.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the purpose of them getting conditioned all of July.
Yeah.
So that when that comes, then it's
not as big as
Yeah. So that's kind of been it. Just and I've been off, so just kind of trying to do little things that I haven't gotten time to do. I still want to finish doing my closet because there's a lot that I could get rid of. My daughter did her closet, which is a big deal because same thing. She's got stuff in there that she's kept, kind of like all of us. We're going to fit into it, and then we're like, oh, that's like really old, and I don't need it. I don't fit into it because I'm older, and I'm not going to wear that. And then she can see what she needs for school.
Yeah, back to school.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of back to school,
yes.
So obviously the summer's kind of coming down to an end, and I noticed schools are starting to do stores are starting to do where they're putting out more school supplies, and they have the back to school sales and stuff like that. So I'm excited. Actually, side note real quick, with Target I went to, I exchanged all of Mijo's clothes, Cat and Jack brand, and got store credit of I kid you not, $100, because that brand, it's supposed to be about durability and stuff.
Yep.
So if they grow out of it within the year, you can return. If they grow out of it, I know.
That's good.
That was really good because I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I found out through a friend.
Okay.
And so she was like, yeah, take I know you buy him that stuff and for birthdays and stuff, take those clothes back because they have in their policy with the Cat and Jack that, you can return and everything. And, of course, look that up and everything. But I got $100. So I was like, this is back to school clothes money
Let's
right
just
here.
get some new clothes. That's great. I did not know that.
So I ended up doing that. So I'm ready to shop for back to school. I'm excited about that. I know also on social media, I've been seeing on my Facebook at least, I have teacher friends that have put their Amazon lists up. So I'm excited to look at those because going back each year, they either change themes in their classrooms or they need extra supplies.
Right.
And I know kids bring their supplies and everything, but you always want to have backup and be prepared. So checking out those Amazon lists that they load up on either Facebook or wherever they put it, on whatever platform, that's good to look at too, just to kind of help out and give back or get a couple of things on their list. And I've gone through a couple of friends' lists, and the stuff that they're asking for isn't, a crazy amount or anything.
Right.
It's definitely what is it called? Reasonable. There you go. It's definitely reasonable. So that's good to see and just kind of help them out. So.
Yeah. I think Rico was telling me that. So this will be the first year that my nephew's going to be teaching coaching. So I think he had mentioned that he had posted a list also. So I guess I'd never realized how they have to put forth all that out of their own pocket. The school supplies the classroom, and that's it. They're like, okay, have fun, and you need all the supplies for it.
You need
beyond what they ask for in school supplies, you need to be able to teach and keep them engaged and stuff. So that's
or have backup too, because I mean,
not all the kids
I don't
can
think
take
I ever replaced any of his crayons or markers or stuff like that. So I'm sure they get, the teachers go out of their way to get stuff in order to supply for that, or definitely reaching out during the mid-year saying, hey, can you send more stuff? But I mean, teachers usually are kind of dig into their own pockets and obviously not getting paid really good salaries to be able to afford those things. So it's good to look at, if you have any friends that are teachers or anything to that extent where you help them out and stuff. So
that's cool. Good. Yeah. So if you have any teacher friends out there, know anybody, definitely ask them if they have an Amazon list, to kind of help them out. Yeah. Because they need a little bit, I'm sure, a couple books, some expos that they need, whatever.
Expos are huge.
Yes. So that's good. I know shopping for clothes, I've got 2 left in school. Yeah. But I feel that the one, because I've got 3 boys and 1 girl, that my 1 girl is equivalent to all 4. Because of where she likes to get clothes from and stuff. But what we've been trying to do is make sure that she kind of works a little bit to see that it's not cheap, and that, if we give you a couple $100 and you want to go to a particular store, that's like a couple of things. Yeah. So it's gonna go quick. To help manage so that she understands that, okay, if you've got this amount, we're going to put forth this amount, but you put money and you can use it how you want. But once it's gone, then that's it. For now. Yeah, and I think it's easier for boys because you can t-shirt and shorts. Just a bunch of shorts, a bunch of t-shirts, and then just interchange them so that you can they can have different outfits.
What's hard for me is the shoes. The shoes I feel like we go through constantly. Yeah. And different styles of shoes, or we wear the same shoe religiously, and we just wear it out till its sole's gone, and then I'm like... but the shoes is the one thing that I try to make sure that, we have a good pair for school, because we like to run around a lot at school and really mess them up. So, so I have some for home, some for school, and then some for just I don't know, he's into skateboarding, so some for, I guess, tearing up too.
Yes. But well, and that, and I think, when we go to church, it's like, you can't wear those shoes. You need a pair that you use just once a week, so that they stay clean, they look nice, they don't,
no holes.
Yeah, exactly. So you're right. And I need to get better at getting more shoes. One of my kids he buys shoes like every week, and so he's got a lot. They're all white, maybe a hint of color.
Maybe a hint of different.
Yes, and it's like a tiny line. Yeah. But they're all white. Yeah. So, but I want to be able to do that. But shoes are crazy expensive. Yes,
they are.
I don't know. I think it's crazy. Although I would tell my mom, and my sister and I talked about this, how you get what you pay for. Like,
true.
You need to put a little bit of money to them, because you're gonna feel the difference. And I'm not saying that everybody has to go and buy name brand or whatever, right? But you'll know that if you go to maybe the lower end, you'll probably buy more because they're not gonna last as long when you could have maybe bought one really good pair that's gonna last a little longer. So I know for me, like, I like to make
Spend
sure
a
they
little bit more,
really fit good and that I really, really like them and stuff so that they can last.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's always, I don't like school shopping.
I do for certain parts of it, but then some parts are a little tedious.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you wait till the last minute for school supplies? Do you get them ahead of time?
Well, the stores have them out, and I've been kind of holding off. I know one thing that I did find myself getting that I've never gotten that's out of the usual is a certain type of pencil box that he asked for. It's a little game remote, super cute. But he's going to be going into 3rd grade, and I thought, okay, you can have a little bit, because I know, like, they're particular about their lists and everything.
Yeah.
But they obviously, the stores offer a variety of stuff and different styles and shapes and colors and everything.
Right.
And that one stuck out to him. And since now he's kind of getting a little bit more into video games, I'm like, okay, well, I can get you a pencil box that's cute, other than a red plastic pencil box.
Yes.
So I got him that. I got him a lunchbox because he told me that he's going to be packing his lunch. So he did eat the school lunch. Well, he would eat the school lunch, but then he would tell me, like, there's just a couple things that he would eat. And
you feel bad.
I did feel bad, but I'm kind of like, tough it out. Like, I eat school lunch. What's wrong with school lunch? I mean, there's certain things that he definitely likes from the school lunch.
Yeah.
But for him to get a well-balanced and actually take the time, I told him, I said, if you're going to get this lunchbox, you're going to prep your lunch the day before.
Right.
So that it's ready to go. So that's the condition, is you're going to prep it. You're going to make sure you have the different, nutritious things that you have in it. So my sister actually showed him how to make a pasta with pesto, dried tomato, little concoction. He liked it. He tried it because she was packing her lunch.
Okay.
And so she gave me the ingredients and everything. It's just literally 3 items. You just boil the pasta, you put the pesto, and you put the dried tomatoes. And I think they're even like a bag they sit in the pantry or something. So he was like, I want that. So it's super easy. So
and
I think
maybe cut up chicken, make some cold chicken. No,
we're not gonna make it difficult. We're not gonna do that.
That's the same. Just toss it. Target. The Target brand has some already in little packages.
So it's even more convenient.
Exactly. Does
it?
No, you
eat
eat cold. Yeah.
Okay.
So like a cold.
Okay.
Yeah.
I could do that.
Well, kind of like Lunchables has chicken nuggets and they're cold. And I know Blake has said before he's wanted that. And I'm like, but it's cold. And he's like, no, they're good.
It doesn't look appealing. But he started getting them this summer. And I'm like, what do you don't want the ham and the cracker and the cheese? And he's like, no, I want the chicken nuggets. I'm like, but it's cold. And he's like, but it's good. And I don't know.
They have different taste buds, I guess.
Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. I'll definitely let you know.
That's neat.
How that goes.
I saw on Instagram, I sent it to my older one. So probably all of elementary, I will pack their lunches. Once they get beyond that, you're on your own. Like, if you want to pack your lunch, I'll help you if you're running late or whatever, or the night before. But don't text me to bring you lunch during the day because that's kind of what happens. And we've talked about that because I work from home.
You just swing by and drop
off and so we remind them at the beginning of the year. Just because I'm working from home does not mean I can leave and take you lunch. I'm not going here and there to take you lunch, and you're not going to favor DoorDash you some food to school.
Because now it's super convenient to do those things.
Yes. So I saw this lunch on Instagram, and this lady was packing it. It was so cute. It was it was a bento box.
Of course.
And they put the little, parchment paper. She put it in the little squares.
Okay.
It was cute. Beyond. Yes. And she put the fruit, and she talked about how...
Did she cut it into shapes?
No, this one she did not.
Okay, good.
But it was a lot. I thought, that looks like more like an adult. Because there was, I kid you not, probably like 6, if not 8 compartments, which to me was a lot. And the little fruits and veggies. And she's like, we had the night before, so I'm going to warm this up. And it was like a mixed veggie, medley. And then the little sandwiches, or was it sandwiches? I think they were little mini wraps or something. It was just a lot. And I sent it to her and I'm like, doesn't that look like the lunch I used to pack, y'all? And I just got a laughing emoji. So... like, no, like it was sandwich.
This is what I remember, though.
Yes, I'm like, in my head, that's
it looked like that. It looked like that, though.
But when they opened it, it was bags full of stuff. So I'd like to do that, but I think, I'm like, I don't know if they would. Like, I would put forth all that effort. I feel that it would come back with a bunch of that stuff in there.
Yeah, and then I'd be mad.
Yes.
I would personally be mad if I went through that whole time to do that, and then it comes back. Still, like maybe one or two things eaten. Like, no, you need to eat the lunch.
Yeah, and when Blake was little or younger, he liked to talk during lunch, so he'd come home hungry because most of his lunch was in there, and I'm like, what happened? Well, they didn't give us enough time, and I'm like, I don't know about that. Well, then we'd go have lunch sometimes, not all the time, because it was always a, can I go home with you? Can you check me out? And of course I would give in, and guess who'd be coming home at 11 in the morning from school. Yeah. So, or I would send Rico to go, and I'm like, do not check him out. Yeah. And then they'd walk in together.
Did he at least eat the lunch?
Well, that's where we figured out was that they were chit-chatting. And it wasn't just him, but it was a bunch of them. They chit-chat, and then they're like, time's up. And then all these kids are throwing away all this food. So then we kind of explained, look, you really need to like...
Gotta multitask.
Eat, yes, like you can eat and talk and stuff.
Something, you gotta work it out.
Yeah, so we'll see. I mean, he did get better because I think his recess started being before lunch.
Oh, okay.
So then he was...
hungry.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and he doesn't always eat breakfast. Sometimes, yes and no. I tried to, and we'd get on a kick where I'd have like breakfast sandwiches, French toast, and something to drink. And if he didn't eat it at the house, it was on the way going. Yeah. So then it would kind of be okay. But as he gets older, his lunch is getting pushed out more and more. Yeah. Because he'd have lunch, I want to say, like at 10 or 11. Well, of course, he'd be starving at 3 in the afternoon.
Because it was so early.
Yeah. So, we'll see how the lunches go. Yeah. So we'll have to see how his pictures are, and then I'll send you a picture of ours.
Mine's not gonna look bento cute or anything like that. And you know what? Honestly, he's prepping it, so we'll just.
You never know. You never know what he does.
Maybe I'll show him some pictures of what it should look like.
And then, so a little side note with the safety. You know, I know. When the whole Uvalde shooting happened, I was a little leery when I took him back that next week or whatever. I am feeling better. They've always had an SRO there, so the safety resource officer. I thought they had him at all the schools because I always saw them at all the schools. But apparently they've now made sure that one is fully assigned. So I am feeling better. I like that the schools are... you can't just walk in and all of a sudden you see kids and stuff. Like, there's
double doors and stuff.
Yes, and everything's always locked. And by the time you get through the elementary, it's nice because of how it's shaped. And then I feel better because he's at the top in the back. So makes me feel a little bit better. The high school, same thing. They've got their SROs. They've got people driving around in the golf carts, which is stuff they've always had. So I'm thinking they're probably adjusting a little bit, maybe.
Or maybe kind of going over game plans.
Right.
What it's going to look like for the coming year. I know at least for Mijo's campus, it's an older campus. So I do know that this past summer we've driven by it several times, whether, you know, going to go eat or going to go shopping and stuff. And they did tear it out on the front of the school. They are remodeling, which is good to see. They did have the precautions of the double doors and everything. And I know at least when I've gone in, especially picking him up from the after school program, I mean, I'd go through the first door and that's it. You can't get past. You can't, and they walk the kids out and stuff. So I know there's definitely going to be, as you know, school year starts, concerns and everything. But I know at least with his school, they're remodeling the front and I think the offices as well, the front offices. So I guess we'll see what the year holds.
So maybe that's part of their safety that they're changing.
Yeah. Well, and it definitely needed to be remodeled. It's an older school. That was my concern, is as far as thinking, you know, safety going forward. What is it going to look like for different schools? Because we don't have, at least at his campus, we didn't have a constant, you know, somebody surveillancing the area. And thankfully, there's only the doors that you see are only in the front to go into access. But at least with that, you know, I think unless you're a teacher or something, you can't get in those doors. Good. Without badges and stuff. So the main doors that you go through, they're pretty secure. So
that's good.
I'm interested to see what it'll look like, you know, when the school year starts. It's going to look a little different, a little updated.
Yeah, and maybe I'm sure they'll probably send out emails on
yes.
to kind of help ease the parents and stuff like that.
And I will say the district, we did get to hear from, the superintendent and stuff. And, I know that there's only so much they could do as far as, what the schools will look like for the upcoming year. But the communication, at least being there, I'm appreciative of that. And being in the loop about things, so.
Yeah. Good.
So, yeah.
All right. So change of topic a little bit. Did you get to watch Big Brother?
Am I being honest? No,
Yes.
I didn't. I will say that I'm wrapping up another series that I'm trying to finish up, but I am interested to see what's happened.
Well, so it's kind of, we've had a few, because it shows, kind of like I mentioned before, multiple times. And then they nominate somebody to go home. Well, for that one in particular, somebody ended up sending themselves home.
Oh, okay.
Which is not unusual, I guess, because sometimes that has happened before. But this particular girl that went home, her name was Paloma, come to find out that she was having maybe issues on the back end that I didn't notice. I just thought to me, she was a bit much for me. She was a little out there, and she was just, I don't know, she was a bit much. But she talked about not being able to sleep at night, that her anxiety was keeping her up, that she was getting about 2 hours of sleep. And of course, in a house full of strangers. Yeah. I know for me, I'd be like, I don't know what they're going to do.
Maybe a little heightened.
Yeah. And so I think that's kind of what happened. So she started talking about her mental health and how she was just really struggling. And I think for me is because I'm not normally around people who have mental health issues. I have people that I hear stuff about and stuff but I don't physically see. So for me, watching it, I didn't see signs that that's what it was. I just thought it was sleep deprivation. Yeah. And come to find out that it was more. And you could kind of tell that she was probably going to go home. And she went to the back and then didn't come back. And then they read this letter that she went home. That she was going to get some help because she needed help, but didn't really elaborate, which was fine. So then she ended up leaving. And so then she left, and they kind of talked about that a little bit. And then one of the other things that they added was, people were talking about was they should have nominated somebody else because they had 2 nominees on there, and nobody ended up having to go home because she sent herself home. So I follow Cody and his wife. Cody from a previous one, and they were talking about that. They're like, yeah, okay, but somebody else should have still gone home. So I was kind of bummed about that. But, just to touch a little bit about that mental health issues, I know that there's a lot that goes on that maybe you and I don't see or not around, or maybe you are, but kind of a little bit of that.
I think it's more like a wide range. I know like there's certain, with mental health issues, I know, for me it's like an umbrella, like knowing that there's different ones and how they affect people differently as well. Me and you might have both anxiety, and we might be affected from it differently. We might experience different things. I know with my son, and when you started talking about this, that made me think of him, because this past year, I noticed when he would go to school in the very beginning of 2nd grade, I would get a call from the nurse's office saying he had stomach aches. And with the COVID going around, it was like, okay, are you sick? What's going on? It turned out to be more of that he had anxiety. And I didn't know, because I was like, okay, no, like, you seem fine when I'm talking to you. And when you're with me, you're better. You're good. Yeah. But when you're at school with, the language, he's in a dual language program, so it being a little bit different, the teacher, the teacher that you were with the previous year, you got used to, how she spoke, and then getting a new teacher and how she speaks it and everything. So him just saying it was a little bit harder took a toll on his body. And it would be where he would get stomach aches, or he would just get really, shy or shut down. And I thought, okay, kind of suck it up. It's okay. You got to get through this. You got to move on. But then I was like, wait a minute, but I don't know what he's going through. So I sought medical help for him and talked to his pediatrician, And we kind of identified that, he had anxiety and separation anxiety. So then I started doing more research about that. And I'm like, okay, well, what do I do about that? How can I help him with that? Because at least growing up for myself, I definitely think, that I know about different types of mental health, whether it be like depression, anxiety, I mentioned, but showing those things wasn't something that, you kind of just dealt with it on your own.
Right.
And, having a kid myself, now it's kind of like, well, I don't want you to deal with it on your own. I want to be there to support you. I want to be there to kind of guide you through it so that you don't kind of suffer, or you don't have as hard of times as you grow older. You know how to cope with it. You know how to work through it. You know how to experience different things that you may be challenged with, and I'd be able to get through them, especially on your own. I mean, when I would get there, he would be better. But I'm not always going to be there in certain situations. So that's my biggest thing with mental health, is that you don't necessarily know. There's different kinds. People experience them differently. Yeah. So I could definitely understand, hers was affecting, it sounded like, with her sleep and stuff, and maybe in other forms as well. But at least that's the personal experience that I've had with it, and it's still an ongoing. I'm interested to see how third grades, kind of, especially since it's like a testing year too. I haven't told him anything about that, so I just want to one thing at a time to kind of build his confidence. But I definitely think it's something to be aware about, and to know that everybody kind of deals with it in their own way, and they definitely it's something to be aware about. So
No, definitely. I think I don't think we realize that that just you have to be a certain age to be going through that.
Oh yeah.
That it's when they are little that they go through those things, and a lot of times you want to tell them to suck it up because they're little, and you want to kind of toughen them up a little bit. But you don't realize that that's not what it is. You know? So I'm glad that you got that. You figured out what it was to kind of help him get through it, and I hope that this year is good. I'm sure it'll be good. It'll be good. Put that out there. It'll be good. But so and then just to I had kind of looked. They mentioned it on the show a little bit, where they talked about that if there is, mental health issues that are going on and you need help for you, family, or somebody else, you can always text GO with the capital GO to 741741 to reach out to a trained crisis counselor through Crisis Text Line. And that's a global not-for-profit organization, free 24/7, and it is confidential. So again, that's text GO to 741741 if you, a friend, a family, or anybody needs that. We want to be able to share that with you guys as well. So to lighten it up a little bit, did you see who is coming back to Real Housewives of Orange County?
No, I haven't seen, but I feel like I could take a guess.
Who?
I'm going to either go with Vicky or Tamra.
It's Tamra.
What?
Yes. So she was on Watch What Happens Live with Andy. He was on there with, I can't even remember who the two ladies were. And she came out and she talks about how, hey, I forgot something last night. And he's like, what did you forget? And she grabs an orange and she's like, I'm back.
What?
So I'm super excited about that. I think I mentioned before I watched the Girls Trip, Real Housewives Girls Trip, and she was on there. And then I've also seen like different things come up where they've mentioned, that she's coming back. She's not coming back. So I'm excited to see what she's got going on and how it's going to be.
So when does it start, or when does it air? Because I know I'm watching currently the Atlanta one.
There's Atlanta and Dubai right now.
I haven't gone into Dubai.
I've watched some, but they're...
I don't know why, but I can't.
They're a bit much. Like, I don't know how else to explain, but some of them are mean, and one of them was going after Lisa Rinna, and they're tweeting different things back and forth to each other, and she was going back and forth with Lisa Rinna, and I thought, that's weird, but okay. So I don't know, Mean Girls, I guess, Girls too, but I don't know when that one comes out, because I don't think that they've started filming.
Okay.
So that'll be a new season, at least if I remember.
So she's just going to hook us on by saying I'm coming back to get excited. Well, that's exciting.
Yeah, so that's exciting. Let's see, what else do we got? Beauty stuff. So what do you like to do for you? Like that takes care of you, maybe get away for a little bit, that maybe self-care, health, what is it that you like to do?
Well, today I will tell you, I washed my makeup brushes. And
that's so satisfying.
I was just about to say, that was very satisfying.
Yes.
I like to do random things. I think I like to definitely play with makeup. Mm-hmm. And I think the boys know when I bust up my makeup, give me my time.
Yeah.
Out of the house, I like to get my nails done, but 9 times out of 10 will take me home with me. So, and usually he's on a device because I can't entertain him. I'm having me time. So he's usually playing with his iPad or watching something on his iPad. So at least he's, there and I can have my me time and do that. But usually nails is what I like to do. What I would like to do is, get a facial or something like that. Yeah. Just because I feel like I need to detox.
And those just feel so good to do. I did do girl that does my lashes. That's one of the things that I like to do is my lashes, because it forces me to close my eyes and relax. Even though her and I chit chat and it's fun and I'm laughing, and I probably shouldn't be laughing because of the tool she's using.
You should probably be very still.
Yes, and I saw her because she tried lashes on Chloe one time, and I was watching her, and I thought, how weird that she's doing it, but look at the tool she's using, and I'm like, oh, I shouldn't be laughing because she could poke my eye out. Yeah. So, but it's funny, we're always laughing, so that's just my time. I'm not on my phone, even though I hear it, and sometimes I'm like, I can tell who's calling, and she'll tell me, and I'm like, okay, can you answer it, put it on speaker, and like, what is it that they need? And most
at
of
that exact moment, right?
Yes.
When you need
and they
the
know
time,
that I'm getting my lashes done, because I always tell them, okay, I'm going to go get my lashes done, I'll be right back. And it's, hey, so what are we having for dinner? I don't know. I'm getting my lashes done. My eyes are closed. I cannot see. Okay, well, just let us know when you're done.
Yeah.
So, but I did try a radio frequency microneedling because she does do different things.
Okay.
I liked it. She said that next time she's going to do it a little bit deeper. The radio frequency piece of it is because it does help your skin beyond the fact that it kind of makes it glow and blah, blah, blah. It helps with wrinkles. It helps with a lot of stuff. And she uses it also on people, not just for face, but for stretch marks. She was doing, she did a video, and I want to say it was somebody's stomach, and she did that, and it was helping. And this person was being consistent, because she's got some that are super consistent with like M-Sculpt and that. And I thought, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But I'd like to do different facials. I think they feel good.
Yeah.
And then I don't want to put on makeup for like...
Because you just feel so clean.
Yes. I'm like, no, because I don't want to
so
clog my pores again.
Exactly.
Nails, I do like to get pedicures and nails.
Yeah.
But I always have... my daughter usually goes with me.
Yeah.
Because if I do it, then she wants to do it. And so... But that's part of having a girl. But I think that, and I'll do my makeup. I like to do my makeup. I hadn't been doing it as much. I do it that once a week for church, or if I have to go in the office, then I'll add one more or whatever. But for the most part, I just, I like to just nothing, and I'll do self-tanner for my face or something like that. Pretty basic, but I like to do all that stuff. Or Botox. I love to do my Botox. I like to do all that kind of stuff. And then while I'm doing things like that, I'm like, okay, why am I sitting here in pain when I know it's gonna hurt, whether it be fillers or whatever? I'm like, I know it's gonna hurt, and I know, and I'm paying you to...
I'm paying for this pain.
Yes. So, that
but
kind
then
of
the
stuff.
end result, it's like, oh, that's why I'm doing this.
Yes, so that's always nice. And then I like to talk to my lash girl about all that stuff. She does lots of stuff. Lots and lots of stuff. And I'm like, oh, okay, no, I can't do that. No, that's too much, But if I could have it any way, I think to my body personally. I mean, I've had 4 kids that I think I would like to do a tummy tuck, but I see, me personally, I don't like the way belly buttons look after. I know it sounds weird.
Because they basically have to reshape or resculpt your belly button.
And I don't like the way that looks.
Yeah.
So I'll never do it. And plus, I feel like it'd be very painful. And then I'm like, so I'm taking that away. But then I'm putting this big old scar. Even though you're putting it in a spot that most people won't see, I will see it.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the stuff I do is for me.
Yeah.
So if I'm doing that, but then you're still going to have it. No.
It's a lot to think about.
Yeah.
When you start to unravel it and then you're thinking deep into it and you're like, never
And I
mind.
feel
Is this
that
worth it?
even if I had the money to do all that stuff, I probably would set it up multiple times and cancel multiple times because I just couldn't. I don't think I could go through it.
Never mind.
So that's about it. And then all right, this heat stuff.
I mean, it's getting pretty hot. We're currently in Texas. We're in 3-degree weather. So anywhere, I think it's on average, it's like 102, 104. It's not fun at all. I know other places that it's hotter, and bless your hearts, because I don't know how you do it.
Like
I walk
Phoenix,
out.
Vegas.
Yeah. Bless your hearts. I literally will walk out, and that's why, like, during the week, I don't wear a face. I wear nothing on my face. I usually don't do my hair because my face and my hair are the first things to go when I walk out. So to me, it's like, why put all that effort for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, maybe trying to get ready and just look decent going out the door. And then you do it and you go in and out of stores and you're sweating, you're hot. I have leather seats in my car. That's not fun, sitting on those. So can't wear shorts with those. But then you can't wear jeans either, even though ironically I'm in jeans right now. So
because it's so hot.
It's hot. It's hot.
Yes.
It's ridiculous right now. So I'm ready for cooler weather. I'm ready for fall weather specifically.
Yeah.
I am not ready for when I walk into stores and see any merchandise of Halloween. I don't know if you've seen that lately.
Gosh. No, I have not.
I do not like seeing that right now. One, because if I want that, which I'm trying to hold off on buying certain things, by the time I go and buy it when it's supposed to be in season, it will be out. It will be gone.
Yeah. I just think when they do that, it makes time go by faster. I know that sounds weird, but I'm like, we're still July. Let me enjoy July. Let me enjoy summer. You can't put out Halloween because that's too far. Kind of like the kids. That's what they talk about. School supplies, when they put it out the beginning of July. Well, school just let out, it feels like.
Yeah.
You're already putting school supplies. I get it for those that go and get stuff early, which I'd like to, but I don't. But let us
just be in the moment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because the first thing you do is see all that. I'm like,
yeah. Or then you don't even, I personally feel that you don't get to enjoy the actual season.
Right.
Because it's already been months ahead that it's already around and people are talking about it. And in social media, they're putting up things that are like, oh, did you get this from this store? And I'm like, I want that. Why am I going in July to get some Halloween stuff?
Right. But but like you said, but then if you don't, you'll miss out. So then you're forced to buy it or just not have it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know. I like, I do like fall, but I'm gonna miss it because I won't have any of the boys playing football. So I'm pretty sad about that. So I think that may be in part why I let Blake play football, because at the beginning I didn't want them playing football because head injuries and stuff like that.
That's the first thing I think of, injuries.
Yes. And they had their fair share of them, but now I'm like, what are we gonna do? Because the Friday night football is we're not gonna have that for a while, because Blake's in 5th grade. I mean, we're gonna have football, but it'll be Saturday morning, which, who watches football Saturday morning? No, it's supposed to be Friday night. It's supposed to be cold, and we had our fair shares of those where we'd go and it was either hot still, or it was so cold that it would just be him and I that would go. We wouldn't take everybody because it was so cold, or it'd be raining. Yeah. And you're like a mummy going up because you got to be fully clothed and wrapped and stuff. So I don't mind fall, but this year I'm not looking forward to it because I'm gonna miss all that. We'll still go to the games, I'm sure. Yeah. But
just means
when you don't get to, when you're not cheering for your child or whatever, and we'll probably still know some of them because some of them will still be there, but it'll be weird.
It'll be different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but the triple digit heat is a no-go. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
My ice is already all melted, so
I know, and it was a little hefty. It was a little hefty.
Did you pour a little hefty?
Well, I did what it said.
I feel like I've been sipping away and it's not going anywhere.
No, I mean, I put a lot of ice because I thought that'll water it down a little bit because it said to use, I think, like 2 ounces of the vodka, which I did not, but it tastes like I did.
Because it's mostly grapefruit, right?
Yeah, but it was, I mean, that vodka is pretty strong, And quick side note story was, we had gone to a friend's house, and he had friends over also. And that guy was already 3 sheets to the wind, And and we got there, I want to say between 6 and 7.
Oh, early.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, the sun's still out, and he was happy as could be, and whatever, which is great. And they had different Deep Eddy vodkas there, and he mentioned that he had brought his peach. I was like, okay, so Rika wanted to try it. As the evening got further in, and we had eaten and everything, like, he's laying on the couch, and he had probably about that much in the bottle that was there. I thought he had brought it opened. It was a brand new bottle, and he was the only one drinking, so he had that much left. So no wonder he was like gone. It was funny. It was really funny. And so Rico got the peach, and he really likes it. Does it taste great? We may have to try that one. Mm-hmm. But I guess maybe it's stronger than we think because he had a couple of drinks a few weeks ago. We were outside, and we were out there, and he was barbecuing, and my son and his girlfriend were there or whatever. He stood up, and then he turned to us, and he's like, okay, that stuff is strong. And it was funny because he looked fine when he was sitting there, but when he stood up, he's like, okay, now I know why he was the way he was. He goes, because I've only had 2 small drinks, and he had like 3/4 bottle. Yeah. Goes, so I can imagine. So drink responsibly.
Yes, definitely drink responsibly.
So.
Well, I think that's about it. But I do want to say, if you haven't followed us already, you can follow us on Instagram at Grab a Drink with Me podcast.
Yeah.
That's where we have our link for our milkshake, and that holds our podcast, our YouTube videos, and then, of course, our Instagram. So definitely check that out and follow us.
Yep. All right. So next week, we will see y'all next week. And then if y'all have any topics, or anything that y'all want us to try, maybe drinks, alcoholic, non-alcoholic topics, whatever it be, and feel free to make comments on our Instagram, wherever you listen. Definitely go in and make some comments so that so that we can get some topics. Because sometimes it's besides whatever goes, besides whatever we've got going on. But Yep, exactly. So. Thanks everybody for listening.
Thanks for
we'll
watching.
See y'all later.
Bye.
Bye.